Friday, 17th of January 2025, and we are on to the fresh edition of the program Inside Nigeria on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Ugbebo, your host on the program. On this first segment of the show, we are looking at what the papers are saying. Of course, it's no other than the aftermath of Nigerian Governors Forum at meetings yesterday, which endorsed the proposed federal government tax reform bills. Oh, that's what the papers are saying this morning. Let's go first to Nigeria's foremost Friday newspaper, Leadership Friday, and see what is offering on the menu. Leadership Friday says, finally, governors accept tax reform bills. Seek new sharing formula for VAT, also rejects bills. Kickers to that leading story. Finally, governors accept tax reform bills. Seek new sharing formula for VAT, ASU rejects bills. And underneath that, we have the picture of the governors meeting yesterday. All the governors, 36 state governors, with Presidential Committee on Tax Reforms with NGF at Transcorp hitting Abuja yesterday. Federal government caps telecom tariff hike at 60%. Alleged 12.3 billion naira fraud. EFCC arrests Otudeco Onasanya on Monday. The story is on page 4 of Leadership Friday. Alleged 12.3 billion naira fraud. EFCC arraigns Otudeco Onasanya on Monday. Beside the masthead of Leadership Friday, CBN records $6 billion external reserves growth. And Governor Nnamdi of Jigawa State says he's humbled by Leadership Award. The news is atop the masthead of Leadership Friday. I'm humbled by Leadership Award, Governor Nnamdi. From that, we move to the page 3, where we have our stand. Today's stand is on the tax before new Super Eagles coach. The tax before new Super Eagles coach. Our stand today on Leadership Friday. From our stand, we move to the back page of Leadership, where we have conversation with Azu. And today's conversation is on Trump again. In quotes, everything about Trump is unsettling, peculiar. Quote from today's conversation with Azu, Trump again. Of course, you log on to the website of Leadership to find out what Trump has done this time around. And the continuation of headline stories, our stand and inside stories. And don't forget to also check out Ghana Must Go, which says Anambra shuts brothel, evacuates 10 sex workers. And the news, that is the news, and Ghana Must Go ask to where. So it's on that note we conclude review of front headline stories, back page, inside stories of Leadership Friday this Friday. For more, log on to the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move over to THISDAY newspaper. THISDAY, same tax reform bills. Tax reform, Governors Presidential Committee endorsed revised VAT 50% equality. Approved 30% derivation, 20% based on population. Senate projects 100 trillion naira budget for 2026 fiscal year. Not J3 because it's ill-prepared, Natasha explains. Northern groups decry politicization of issue. ASU insists move will destroy public varsities. Kickers to the headline story, tax reform. Governors Presidential Committee endorsed revised VAT 50% equality. And on top of that, we have Cardoso unveils initiatives to boost payment turnaround, streamline approval processes, orders. Federal government convenes inaugural oil industry forum set to halt policy, regulatory conflicts, orders. And that takes us to a story above the masthead of THISDAY. Otudeco refused alleged role in First Bank of Nigeria holdings, vows to defend reputation, says no plan to return to board. Of course, that story is also in the previous papers and some of the main papers we have on our menu this Friday that is to be arraigned on Monday. From THISDAY, we move over to the next paper we have on our lineup. Meanwhile, don't forget to hook up to www.thisdaylive.com to read more of today's THISDAY stories. We move to the next paper we have on our lineup, and that is Vanguard. Vanguard says tax bills, governors offer new formula for sharing VAT proceeds. Proposed VAT distribution based on 50% equality, 30% derivation, 20% population. back Tinubu on reforms, while North is jittery over tax reforms. Senator Akpoti Uduaghan. Rowdy session in NAS as IGP presents 2025 budget. Kidnapping: Nigerians may have paid 10 trillion naira ransom in 2024, coming from Anambra State Governor Soludo. How hardship drives some Nigerians to look for food in garbage. Is national emergency with devastating consequences. Experts warn of grave health risks for children. Say scavengers at risk of lead poisoning, cancer, malnutrition, mental injuries. Others. Scavenging strips people of human dignity. Sociologists call for social safety nets to reduce poverty. These are kickers to the second leading story on Vanguard this Friday. How she drives some Nigerians to look for food in garbage. Atop the masthead of Vanguard, crude oil price will dictate petrol pump cost. Lokobiri. Influence of ISWAP, southern governors mobilize, activate regional security. Federal government to Emir Sanusi, we don't need your approval for Tinubu's laudable policies. That concludes the review of front headline stories on Vanguard this Friday. For more, log on to the website of Vanguard newspaper, www.vanguardngr.com. From Vanguard, we move over to the next paper on our lineup, and that is The Guardian. The Guardian story, main headline story is a big story that runs on pages 4 and 5, and it says war against terrorists caught in the middle, survivors count cost of accidental air strikes. The Guardian's big story today: war against terrorists caught up in the middle, survivors count low cost of accidental air strikes. Federal government and IMC launched digital cards to assist farmers. Orders. Boko Haram ambush, UN demands justice for 40 kids in Borno. Tax reform, governor's presidency share VAT hike, agree on new revenue sharing formula. EFCC to arraign ex-bank chiefs over alleged 12.3 billion naira fraud. Rowdy session at National Assembly over budget defense. PDP shuns Ondo local government poll as police restrict movement, warn miscreants. Defense headquarters blames external forces lead collaborators for terrorism surge in Northeast. Police see PDP secretariat in Rivers over leadership crisis. Rebasing, focus on economic reform, stable fiscal policies. LCCI charges federal government. And on our menu, lastly, this Friday, we have The Punch. The Punch says Dangote refinery projects 650,000 barrels per day June plans crude imports. Dangote refinery projects 650,000 barrels per day June plans crude imports. Facility now producing 500,000 barrels per day as officials look beyond Nigeria to meet demand for products. We also have pictures of governors, state governors in meeting yesterday, consultative session with the Presidential Committee on Tax Reforms in Abuja on Thursday. Fubara Wike camps clash as police occupy Rivers PDP secretariat. Tears has struck his 9 Benue family members. INEC deletes 7,746 dead persons from voter register. Beside the masthead of The Punch, Pegasan projects petrol price hike as crude cost rises. And above the masthead of The Punch, governors propose new VAT sharing formula, OK tax base. Defense headquarters blames foreigners for renewed terror attacks. 12.3 billion naira fraud, EFCC to arraign Otudeco, Exports Bank MD on Monday. With that, we bring to a close the first half of today's Inside Nigeria Leadership Television. The second half of the program is coming in shortly with our guest joining us virtual. Don't go away, stay tuned.
Get ready for the Leadership Awards and Conference 2024. Join us as we celebrate excellence across various fields, honoring those who've made remarkable impacts. Award categories include Person of the Year, Quinquennial Award for Governance and Infrastructure, Governors of the Year, Business Person of the Year, and many more. Stay updated by following us on social media and visiting our website, leadership.ng. For sponsorship and inquiries, contact us today. Leadership Award and Conference 2024, celebrating excellence, inspiring the future. Get ready for the Leadership Awards and Conference 2024. Join us as we celebrate excellence across various fields, honoring those who've made remarkable impacts. Award categories include Person of the Year, Quinquennial Award for Governance and Infrastructure, Governors of the Year, Business Person of the Year, and many more. Stay updated by following us on social media and visiting our website, leadership.ng. For sponsorship and inquiries, contact us today. Leadership Award and Conference 2024, celebrating excellence, inspiring the future.
Yes, you're welcome back. The program is Inside Nigeria Breakfast Show on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Weber. Of course, I have a guest joining in virtual. For my Wednesday guest, he's a TV host, a syndicated columnist, Jide Ojo. Good morning.
Good morning, Winifred. Happy New Year.
Good to have you on today's program, Jide.
My pleasure.
Yes, today's papers are screaming with the headlines: tax reform, governors presidential committee endorse revised VAT 50% equality. This is a leading story on virtually all the papers today. Would you say the die is cast now and everything is back to normal?
Everything should be back to normal. Really speaking, that is democracy at work, and it shows the power of politics over the politics trumps even economy. Um, the president, in his wisdom, set up presidential tax force, presidential committee on tax reform, which sat for over 1 year. That's I think it's Oloyede that chaired that, and after meeting for over 1 year, they made their reports known to the president. The president approved that uh, he wants to sponsor the tax reform bills, four of them as executive bill. And since October, it's been generating a lot of furore, particularly from northern governors who felt that they will receive the short end of the stick. And we've had very, very bold comments from Governor Zulum of Borno, from Governor Bala of Bauchi State, even from Nasarawa State Governor, Governor Sule, the Northern Senators Forum, the Arewa Consultative Forum, all of them have spoken out to say this will set the North on a regressive mode, given the fact that particularly the value-added tax will shortchange them because they will receive far less under the derivation formula that was proposed by the Tax Reform Committee. And in December, the president, yielding to pressure, asked the National Assembly to liaise with the Ministry of Justice to look at the gray area and fine-tune and do what is needful. In fact, the northern governors asked that the bill be withdrawn and whether consultation should take place before it will be sponsored. But the president said there's no need to withdraw the bill. Rather, whatever anybody has that is of issue to him or her could be presented at the public hearing. But as it were, the governors met with the president at some point, and the president gave in to the pressure and said, okay, meet with my presidential committee and iron out the gray areas. And that's the fruit of what we saw yesterday, where the issue of value-added tax was laid to rest. Now the sharing formula will be 50% of, now this is the way it is. 10% of whatever value added is accruable to the federal post, 10% will go to federal government. Now, 90% that is remaining, 50% of that 90% will be shared equitably, equally rather, among all the 36 states and FCT, 50% of that sum. Then 30% will be based on derivation. That, okay, you are the headquarters of this company where we generated X number of billions, you get 30%. Then 20% will be based on population. So, and that agreement has been made yesterday in a communique that was received, that was pushed out. Then it's not even only about value-added tax alone. They have also agreed that TED Fund, NITSDA, and NASENI will not be scrapped as proposed in the bill. It was also agreed that there will be no increase in the value-added tax payable, because right now Nigerians are paying 7.5% as value-added tax. It was the tax reform bill was proposing that it should be raised to 10%, and later, maybe 2026, should be increased to 15%. But that also had been laid to rest. There will be no increase in the value-added tax. So we should commend our governors for taking this bold, courageous step. And like I said, it is politics, positive politics that played out. Even though some people were already threatening the president, oh, he will not do second term, we will not support him. People said very unprintable things. But right now, I think all the sides are smiling that finally the contentious areas have been ironed out, and it is hoped that I don't know whether there will be a resubmission of the revised bill, or whether the one that is there in the National Assembly will still be the one that they will now fine tune. But the communique that was issued yesterday was quite comprehensive. Those 5 points again, those 5 points communique, as to my own mind, has laid the issue to rest. It will now be for the National Assembly to show good faith and to work in tandem with the agreed positions. And I believe within 3 months, this tax reform bill can see the light of the day. But most importantly, what many Nigerians have not asked their mind to is that this tax reform bill is an economic restructuring tool. Without even altering the constitution, this is an economic restructuring formula. And so it's not everything that has to go through the constitutional alteration and all of that. This, if it sees the light of the day, will rub off positively on Nigerians, because now Nigerians will pay less tax. Right now, people are paying up to 60 different taxes. But this tax reform bill has shrunk all the taxes into about 8 or 9. So then there are some businesses that have also been exempted from payment of this tax. If your business threshold is below maybe 50 million or thereabout, you are not going to be paying tax.
Yes. It's part of the agreement yesterday that if they shouldn't increase VAT, and the issue of company tax should remain for now because of economic issues consideration.
The company tax will remain, but what we are saying is that the number of taxes that are payable will
Yes.
reduce considerably. So you are not going to be paid, because there will be no state internal revenue board again. The collection will be centralized and automated. It will be digitized. So whether you are operating in Sokoto or in Rivers or in Akwa Ibom, it's one central.
We are experiencing some glitches
Everything
over
will be
there.
centralized, and I believe that is company tax may remain, but
Yes.
that is a trade-off, because whether we like it or not, government needs a lot of resources to perform its statutory function of
We are experiencing some technical glitches from the to this end. Then we intend to bring him back on when we restore normalcy. So thank you so
I
much.
can hear
Now,
you.
Jide, if I may also ask a leading question to this, with the way the tax reform bill were vehemently rejected, opposed by some regions and even certain regions and stakeholders, what will happen is we are talking in the quarters that we are talking about fiscal federalism. Are we going to have a fiscal federalism in place, workable eventually?
Of course, this is what this is all about. Don't forget that our tax laws are archaic for decades. In fact, I'm not sure we have had any comprehensive tax reform like the one being proposed by President Tinubu in 2024. So this is all about fiscal federalism because it says that there will be advantage accruable to you for derivation. So if uh, oil is being derived from your backyard, you get more. 30% of that is going to be shared by those on the basis of derivation. Those who where there are solid mineral exploration in their states will also form part of the those who are getting more under derivation. So it's all about fiscal federalism. And like I said, it's an economic restructure.
Wow, we are still experiencing some issues there. Yes, did they? Ah, okay, the conversation continues when we get him back. We're looking at the tax reform bill, finally governors accept tax reform bill, although with a new revised formula for VAT. Hello, did they? Another story trending on the media this morning is the issue of the former director board of First Bank of Nigeria. It could be arranged EFCC to arrange him on THISDAY or Northaya on Monday. It's a story that is waiting the cover of all the papers we have on our menu this Friday. Leadership Friday says alleged 12.3 billion naira fraud. EFCC arranged the THISDAY or Northaya on Monday because the First Bank of Nigeria has been in the eye of some recently following his fight with General Holdings Limited, an oil company where the publisher of the newspaper is the stakeholder. Aside that, we have second leading story on Vanguard, how hardship drives some Nigerians to look for food in garbage. It's national emergency with devastating consequences, says experts. One of grave health risks for children, says scavengers at risk of lead poisoning, cancer, malnutrition, mental injuries, others. As scavenging strips people of human dignity, according to sociologists, call for social safety nets to reduce poverty. And we have the editorial today in the Punch newspaper where it writes on, according to the editorial on the Punch this Friday, it says coherence required to tackle food insecurity. Coherence required to tackle food insecurity. And in quote, one of the government's most glaring failures is its inability to deliver on promises made to Nigerians. Measures such as suspending import duties, tariffs, and taxes on food items, including corn, wheat, rice, and cowpeas, remain largely unimplemented. This also recognizes what the second leading story on Vanguard this Friday is talking about. The hardship drives some Nigerians to look for food in garbage. But unfortunately, we can't get Jide Ojo back on inside Nigeria. We are experiencing some technical ability. Hopefully, next time on the program, we're going to get him back to talk more on this path will complete. So on this note, we conclude today's Insight Nigeria. Don't forget to join us for another fresh edition of the program, 10 times 10 features on Monday. My name is Vince Odigebo. Thanks for joining us.
Get ready for the Leadership Awards and Conference 2024. Join us as we celebrate excellence across various fields, honoring those who've made remarkable impacts. Award categories include Person of the Year, Quinquennial Award for Governance and Infrastructure, Governors of the Year, Business Person of the Year, and many more. Stay updated by following us on social media and visiting our website, leadership.ng. For sponsorship and inquiries, contact us today. Leadership Award and Conference 2024, celebrating excellence, inspiring the future. Get ready for the Leadership Awards and Conference 2024. Join us as we celebrate excellence across various fields, honoring those who've made remarkable impacts. Award categories include Person of the Year, Quinquennial Award for Governance and Infrastructure, Governors of the Year, Business Person of the Year, and many more. Stay updated by following us on social media and visiting our website, leadership.ng. For sponsorship and inquiries, contact us today. Leadership Award and Conference 2024, celebrating excellence, inspiring the future.
For watching, for sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.